Greetings from Act Now. Continuing here with David getting close to making a final decision about this training program, I left him with these thoughts. We will get to much more training with the Calm Confidence. I have a whole technique for it, so your trust in it will grow as we go. And again, we are only now approaching the starting gate. Just stay steady this week, all will be well. And one of the doors that just opened because of the subconscious mind statement I made, you can step through right now by applying the tip that I gave you. Trust your subconscious mind. It is your best ally. Okay, moving forward. David wrote. Excuse me. David wrote, I'm decided. My answer is yes. I want to move forward. Any more time spent in deliberations at this point will net to the same result. I'm not going back to who I was. That's no longer an option. I want to mold my own life. I had considered waiting until Saturday in an effort to practice restraint, but decided to leave something like that to your discretion. I have written down my answer on paper in a notebook where I've started to keep some notes for myself of our interactions. I've prepared myself mentally to follow this path. I'm ready for when you say we start. My reply, David, you have written a powerful statement of decision. Decision. Decision is one of the various modes of willpower operation. Just as are restraint, continuance, perseverance, and others. Decision is a commitment to action. Continuance is the commencement and maintenance of the action. Perseverance is continuance of the action in the face of adversity. Once made, decision requires no further attention, for it has got its due. Further attention to it is undue. The due attention shifts to continuance. You have clearly stated your decision, and in it I can feel your commitment to continuance. Well done. I too feel ready. And I am glad that you have a notebook already going, for it will come into prescribed use during the next 8 or so weeks. I want you to do one more thing before that, though, before we actually get going. I ask you to consider the importance to yourself of you creating an event that marks a point of great change in your life, that marks a turning point. Something like painting the room where you most likely will do your daily, standalone, personal evolution work, or rearranging your furniture. Be creative with this. Ask yourself, what can I do that will produce a visible result that will represent to me this turning point in my life, and that itself is also something constructive? And once you figure out what it is that you can do in this direction, then decide on it, and then focus on doing it with intent, and do it with the intent to make it visibly stand for the transition from your past to your future, and all that that means to you right now. Recall the attention control and the feeling of meanings that we have touched upon with respect to reading this material so far. Well, also now apply that attention to your intentional action, and apply that feeling to its symbolic meaning. In short, do it with focus, do it with intent, and apply deeply felt meaning. Let me restate. In short, do this with focus, with intent, and with deeply felt meaning. I think that you can understand why this is important to do. and to do as I have said, following the general rule. To do it as I have said, following the general rule. You can think of this assignment as being similar to, say, when an Amazonian Indian chief says to one of the boys in his village, "The time has come for you to die. Your mother shall see her boy no more. For today you, her boy, must die, and so a new man will be born. Come, it is time." I'm asking you to create and to perform your own ritual. And when it is done, there is one more thing that you can do if you like, but it's not necessary. If you feel like doing it at the time, then stand there for another moment and announce in a whisper something along the lines of, "It is done now." And imagine that the soul of the living universe heard you whisper that. And that some little part of everything now carries your message. Whether or not you have added this last part to your transition ritual, when you are done, you will feel that you are no longer standing on a precipice, but rather that you have leapt. Take a few days at this if you need. Then let me know when it's done. This is all you. So go for it. David wrote back, "It's done. This has been a week of change for me already, as I have been preparing for doing things differently. I have already been rearranging furniture to bring in new life. And Saturday I became a non-smoker with cigarettes. It's been quite a few days since I smoked, and I have no desire to do it. When I first read your email, something immediately came to mind. It was my transition. Today, I broke up with my girlfriend. And in about 30 minutes, I will begin painting one of the rooms in my house. She was the last tie I had to doing things the old way. The last tie I had, that was me not choosing things for myself. I was reluctant to do this at first, afraid that causing pain would be a horrible start here. But I realized that everything hurts at first in different degrees, but gets easier. I had even tried to think of something else. But when I searched for other options as a transition ritual, nothing exceeded that one. It's done now. Most of this was already in place before I even received your email telling me to do something like this. Something to mark this change in my life, this turning point. We will continue in the next video.